What if hospitality is held back? By Krishna's mercy. Quote, the learned brahmana Sudama passed that night at the house of Lord Krishna, and while he was there, he felt as if he were living in a Vaikuntha planet. Actually, he was living in Vaikuntha, because wherever Lord Krishna, the original Narayana, and Rukminidevi, the goddess of fortune, live is not different from the spiritual planet Vaikunthaloka. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vol. 2, Q26.
Allow me to offer to you an unconventional response to hearing certain stories from Vedic literature. Those stories are accounts of real-life events, factual people, and a timeline involving the history that we know, or at least going as far back as we can trace. I, for one, feel it is important to learn from history. I am fascinated by the way people used to live, as the standard has changed drastically, even in my own lifetime. For instance, take the child living today and bring them back in time 40 or 50 years. The daily routine was totally different. We had maybe 2 televisions in the home. That was it for entertainment from a screen. One of the televisions was in black and white. There were 2 dials for tuning channels, one for VHF and one for UHF. We had what they call rabbit ear antennas at the top of the device. The whole experience was great fun. We never felt deprived. On the contrary, there was more than enough to keep us children occupied. From the history presented in Vedic literature, another change I see in comparing with today is in the area of hospitality. A famous comedian today even has a bit on how answering the doorbell 20 years ago was very different from how it is answered today. During the time of Sri Rama, there was affection and love shared between the hosts and the guests. King Janak happily welcomed King Dashrath, for instance. This was during the occasion of the marriage of Sita and Rama. Later, the respectable lady named Anasuya offered similar hospitality to a traveling Sita and Rama. We have the stories from Krishna Lila involving the palaces in the amazing city of Dwarka, the visits from Nard Muni, the welcome offered to the poverty-stricken brahmana named Sudama Vipra. It is not necessary to delve into the details at the moment, as simply remembering the incidents brings great joy to the heart. Transition to the modern day, though. What if someone like myself wants to be just as kind? I get the feeling that the people of the past were not faking it. They were genuine in their happiness to welcome such respected guests. There was mutual love and adoration. The things I witness today are quite different. I am almost disgusted by the dealings. I would rather avoid visiting anyone. If someone should accidentally make it to my place, I am ready to give them everything. The thing is that there will be tremendous interference. Have you noticed this? The wives get jealous. They will not be happy to expend extra effort for the guests. Or perhaps it is the husband who throws a fit. The hosts might have 2 or 3 dogs running wild within the home. Within seconds of entering the front door, you will regret the decision to visit. If you eventually find a seat, you will be greeted with a question about allergies involving a cat. How are we supposed to answer that? What if we do have an allergy? Should we just get up and leave? What are people inclined towards generosity and kindness supposed to do here? Is it hopeless? Should we just give up? High culture is merely a relic of the past? We should live like animals now? We should cling to our possessions as if they mean more to us than people? Is this not a hindrance towards worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead? How can we show respect to the highest being of all if we are so miserly in our basic affairs?
The neophyte to the culture of Bhakti Yoga has the tendency to criticize. They are not yet attuned to the ways of the world and the widespread degradation of values. Therefore, whenever they hear emphasis placed on the chanting of the holy names, they feel the justification is insufficient. They want a better answer to their problems. They cannot understand how a single mantra can produce any lasting benefit. The truth is that the chanting process is specifically made and empowered for the current age. The association with sound proves the absolute nature to the Almighty. We can indeed connect with him through his names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Consider the situation at hand. There is obstruction, there is interference, there is a decline in civility, there is miserliness, there is pettiness, there is lack of consideration for what others go through. There is blindness due to selfishness. In such a poor condition, what hope is there for any of us? We are rescued through the absolute nature to the events. Remembering the welcome offered by Rukmini and Krishna to Sudama is as good as having been there. We can contemplate devotional activities such as offering nice food to the Supreme Lord. We can create a nice place for him to live in our home. We can treat him as the most honored guest. We insist that he stays with us, that he never leaves. Due to the mercy extended to his devotees, he feels obliged to accept the offer. Quote, although the Lord was present in Vaikuntha, he was present also in the heart of the brahmana when he was meditating on the worshiping process. Thus, we can understand that things offered by the devotees, even in meditation, are accepted by the Lord, and they help one achieve the desired result. The nectar of devotion, Short 10. In closing, state of affairs so sad, behavior rude and bad, even if kindness wanting to show, interference from others to know, sick and disgusted by it all, ready for final end to call, but simply by remembering saved, like how with Sudama behaved.